Is it the full moon yet? Yes, it is. We're coming to the close to the full moon on the 25th of Jan. But as I was reading about this full moon, I realized that this full moon is a bit different than all the other full moons because it's the first full moon of the year, and because we've been going through high energies since November, December, and the beginning of January, high frequency energies. And we've been going through a lot of change with some of the planets coming in, some of the planets going in retrograde. Don't ask me about these things because I'm not into astrology. Please read about it. It's not my thing. But today I'm here to talk about the moon and the full moon in specific. So, this full moon apparently is all about setting intentions and starting anew. It's not about releasing, and usually what they say about the full moon, it's because it's the completion. So it's the reminder of you completing certain things that you've already started. And it's the time where you release any unwanted negative emotions, and everything that you've been feeling, anything that rises to the surface. Because how is this related to us? I'm going to explain it to you in this way. So, when the moon is full, usually what happens in the oceans and the seas is that we experience high tide. This is a natural thing that actually happens. And when it's a high tide, that means the waters are rising, right? And they're higher. So you will notice that the shore, if it was distant before the full moon, if you go to the sea often, when you go through a full moon, the shore will be much closer. So you will not need to walk a very long distance because the waters are higher. And the way this is related to us is because majority of our composition is water. Our brain even has 80% water, right? So if this is what's happening to the sea, you can imagine what's happening inside our bodies. And in these waters that we have in our bodies is where our cellular memories and our memories are actually stored in terms of emotions. The majority of the water element is usually here in our bellies, in our sacral area, where our creativity lies. That's why they tell you that your treasures are in that cave. It's in that depth of you because this is the depth. So when the waters are rising, that means the emotions are rising. That means you might feel overwhelmed, fatigue, sleepiness, tiredness, certain rise in emotions, anger, frustration, sadness, depression, sometimes dark night of the soul. This is what people call it. When you're going through a lot of darkness, the thoughts are taking over you. But this time, this made me think, and I've been thinking about this for a while. Because whenever I looked at the moon, I always felt like I love it when it's complete. It's like I even used to call it La Luna Magnifica, the magnificent moon, because of its beauty, because of its silver tones, because of how it lights up the night skies. That even if there are stars, the moon will still be there, and they can coexist independently and still shine in their own way, in their own magnificence. So that made me think of all the times that I used to say, oh, it's a full moon, that's why I feel tired, as if I was waiting for an excuse outside of me to tell me that it's time to rest. As if I was waiting for an external factor to give me the permission to rest. And it made me think that this is completely contradicting to what I know, which is I create my own reality and I dictate my own energy. Like I am the pioneer of my own body, and I know when to say stop and when to say I need to continue. Noting that I need to strike that balance between the responsibility of taking action and taking lead of my own life, and also the responsibility of taking rest and when to take that rest and how to take that rest. And this took me to a time where I realized that sometimes we're still waiting for an external factor that is outside our control, because the moon will go through its cycles. It's not really within my control, which by that I mean, like, I'm not sitting here saying, okay, now you're going to be full, now you're going to be new, now you're going to be waning, now you're going to be waxing, now you're going to be this, now you're going to be that. I'm not here dictating that. There is a creator and there is that universal harmony that the moon is aligning to. So knowing that the choice is mine and the power lies within my hand, how can I still have the choice and also be in alignment to that harmony and use it to my benefit? So the first thing that comes to my mind is I need to build a relationship with it. If my relationship with this external factor is that of blame and I'm the victim, then I'm actually making myself disempowered. I'm choosing, in fact, to be disempowered. So, how can I change this relationship? And after I've established through a prior video that the most important relationship that ever exists is the relationship with myself, then from this space, how can I have a better relationship? And I established that having a better relationship with myself means better results, means a better energy, means being empowered, means taking decisions, means taking ownership. So, how can I have a better relationship with something that is not within my control, so that I can make it, if anything, work for me, not against me, where there is resistance? Or, even better, not make it dictate what choices I need to make because it's full, because it's new. So let's say because it's a new moon, it's time to set intentions. But what about all the times, all the seconds that I have where I can actually set intentions consciously, not waiting for the moon? Maybe utilize the moon. Maybe when I establish a better relationship and have a better understanding, then I can utilize the moon to amplify that. Now that sounds better and that feels better, right? Rather than let's wait for the new moon to set our intentions. Let's wait for the waning crescent that is growing to, for example, progress in our journey or in our project. Let's wait for the waxing crescent to maybe regress and reflect. Why don't we do that simultaneously in every single second of our lives? Just imagine for a moment what your life would be like if you actually took the phases of the moon and applied it in every single day, moment to moment, project to project, decision to decision. Maybe that's what the moon is reminding us of. What can we learn from the moon? How can this resource that's actually functioning beyond our control, whether we like it or not, it exists and it'll always be there. What can I learn from it, from this resource? What is it trying to tell me? Maybe it's trying to tell me that when my emotions are on the rise and I've reached that fullness, that it's time to reflect and start anew, to rediscover myself from within and understand what are these emotions about? What is the wisdom that's coming through these emotions? so I can reach the totality, the wholeness, a new fullness within my depth. So as it rises, how can I go through a journey and rediscover myself anew and reflect and bring that wisdom into my fullness, into my depth? Because the moon is trying to tell me that it's so deep. It's trying to tell me that life is all about cycles. Cycles within cycles within cycles of nature. It's trying to tell me that when something reaches its full, anything that's overwhelming me, any hardship, that it will have its peak and it will pass and something new will emerge. What if the phases in between are trying to remind me of all the transitions that I'm going through? Even transitions in every single day. The transition of sleep, the transition of eat, the transition of meditation, of reflection, the transition from one task to the other. Maybe it's telling me to reach that fullness and that completion, you need to go through these phases. It's also reminding me of the silver linings, that everything that has a silver lining, that everything, anything, and nothing could be silver and gray, and it's okay. It's reminding me of the wisdom, of the intuition, of the femininity, of the receptivity, of its majestic presence that is also present within me. I am an extension of this universe, right? So I am the moon. And if I am the moon, how do I need to be? Stepping outside that victimhood into that creativity, into that cyclicality, and how I can apply that in my life. The phases of self-love, the journey of self-love, the illumination, the sparkles, the magic, the mystical, the spirituality. So how can I have a better relationship with the moon so it serves me? Because it's a resource available to serve me, not to control me, not for me to give away my choice. It's a resource for me to utilize as a wisdom, as a learning. So in the comments, I want you to share, what are your favorite phases of the moon and why? What is the moon wisdom that you get? And I'm looking forward to seeing your comments and to engaging with you on this topic and to see how your relationship actually changed with the moon after this conversation. So are you a victim of the full moon, or are you now learning from the phases of the moon who you need to be through your journey? Again, this is Yassminne, your self-love coach and mentor, from my heart to yours, from Yas, with infinite love. I love you.